So when I first started Carnivore, I was having some dramatic issues with pooping. Hey guys, I want to welcome you back to week 27 of this amazing weight loss journey. Some pretty amazing things happened this week I really wasn't expecting to happen. So I want to go over those things in this video. As always, if you're new here, we do a weight loss video every week. I try to get it posted every weekend. I typically get my weights on Saturday after I wake up. Now previously, I used to have a steady day schedule, and this is how I was doing the entire routine. So I was getting up about 3:30 in the morning, getting my weights. As soon as I got out of bed, my cats would walk me down the hall, and today everybody is out of routine because I've been working the night shift, hauling snow here in Alaska. Now, we did have some situations with that last night, so some changes have happened with that job over the night that were rather unexpected. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And we're also going to talk about some good and bad things that happened. Very little bad, not much at all as far as the bad on this carnivore journey here, carnivore ketovore journey. And like I said before, I don't play the label game. I really don't care about the label of carnivore or ketovore or keto. We just use the principles here, and I don't expect anybody to be 100% strict on everything they're doing, because we all live different lives. We all have different situations. All of our financial needs are changing really, really fast. So, I mean, inflation's kicking us in the pants. The wife and I are talking constantly about how, you know, it's getting harder to afford this, it's getting harder to afford that, and now the holidays are coming up. So we're a little bit stressed out about that, but we're gonna make it just as usual, just like every year. We're gonna figure it out. But if you could, please consider subscribing to the channel, liking the video, and commenting down below, because I really do appreciate everybody that comments here regularly. And I do read and comment back to every single person that comments on this channel. I mean, it's what I love to do, and it's all part of learning together. You guys are teaching me as much as, you know, I'm putting out there. And I'm just putting this out there from my own personal experience. I'm not trying to state facts from other doctors or this or that. I mean, I might bring some of that information in here once in a while, and because it's kind of important. You know, some of these doctors that talk about this stuff have some really good points and some valid points that have helped me along the way. And I just wanted to thank everybody that recommended certain people in the very beginning, because I follow these people and I listen to what they're talking about, because some of those things have been incredibly important up until now. So let's dive on into the morning weigh-in and see what happened when I got up. Now, I did wake up right around 9:30, and the time now is about 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. And yeah, that's my fluffy butt gray bear that just loves to photobomb the camera and jump right in there. But yeah, she's a wonderful kitty. Anyways, all right, let's get on into the dirty details of what happened this week. So unfortunately this morning I didn't have my usual cat, Gray Bear. This is Molly right here. She's a beautiful calico kitty that used to try to rip my arm off when we first got her. She was an interesting cat. Now she's been in the house for quite a while, and she's bonded with everybody in the house, and she's just a loving kitty. So let's get this scale set up and see what we got here. So, gee, okay, we're looking at 311.9. Okay, we're going to call that 311.9 this week, and we're going to move on from there. So that is a definite weight loss compared to last week. And last week's video, I was showing the comparison of about how much water weight can be lost while I sleep. So now that was a pretty interesting one. Let's see. Now, last week I gained about 4.6 pounds. And we believe a lot of that has to do with the change in work schedule and routine. So we were, you know, I also did my first part of the weigh-in, which was when I got home from work. So I got home from work about 6 o'clock in the morning or so, and my weight was substantially heavier than when I woke up in the evening. So, and I did actually lose a couple pounds of water weight while I slept. So that's good news. So losing pounds every week is really good news, but counting on those pounds coming off when you look at the scale, doesn't really matter at this point, because we got the majority of the water weight off. And ever since I got the water weight off the bones, everything has been improving hand over fist. I mean, just my ability to work, my ability to function, my ability to talk to people and communicate out in the public. So let's see, last week for the weekly weight loss, the week prior I was 317.3 pounds. That was the week I gained a couple pounds. Uh, let's see, minus 311.9. Now that's a weight loss of 5.4 pounds this week. And yeah, that's just kind of figuring in what happened last week too. So that's really not that unexpected, because I did get home early this morning. I was home about 2 o'clock in the morning. I did sleep in till about 9 o'clock. So it was about 6 hours of sleep there. So that weight kind of all plays together here. So when I started this weight loss journey, I was 435 pounds. Now this week's weight was 300 minus this week's weight, which was 317.3 pounds. That brings me down to a total weight loss in 27 weeks of 123.1 pounds. That's pretty good news. I'm happy with that. And I'm still working towards that milestone of getting down below 300 pounds. So boy, I hope that's coming. Hopefully before the first of the year, I'd be happy with that. Now, let's see. I'm on day 76 of Carnivore. Now, I've been doing Carnivore, Ketovore, doing my best to try to, get a full solid week of Carnivore in there. And this week has been 5 days. Let's see. Yeah, 5 days of actually getting Carnivore almost completely mastered, at least for the 5-day period. Now, I would say my normal routine is about 90% meats and fats, and 10% I don't really care, because that's who I am, and I love just breaking the rules, because that's what I do here. And yeah, we don't subject ourselves to peer pressure. We don't play those silly games. You guys can label yourself whatever you want. And I'm still sticking in the basic principles of things. So Carnivore, Ketovore, I mean, Ketovore was always kind of a thing that I was when I first started this weight loss journey. So we're just going to stick with what works. I don't care if it's 100% carnivore. I don't care if it's 100% ketovore, but we're just working on the health benefits of how to get this to work best for me. And hopefully if you guys choose this, you can, follow the same basic principles. You don't have to be super, super strict to get great success. And that's all I'm out here trying to do, is just show you my adventure and show you my journey and be as honest as possible, because man, when you got people picking at you like little pissed off chickens, it's just, wow, it's overwhelming sometimes. And on some days it gets a little annoying, but I ignore it all. I go to work, I come home, I take care of my family, I take care of business, and I try to share these adventures with you as much as possible. But okay, when I started the Carnivore journey, I was at 335.6 pounds at that time. That was when I was transitioning, doing a poor transition into Carnivore. It was hard. Transitioning into Carnivore was not easy. And just like getting started on any weight loss journey, none of it was necessarily easy right away. Even though once I got it somewhat figured out and mastered, things just started happening. And I just kept going with it. And then I turned it into, let's say, a hobby. Losing weight. Yeah, who would have thought losing weight would be a hobby? But yeah, losing weight without a whole lot of exercise started to be my goal. So I was 335.6 pounds when I started Carnivore 76 days ago, minus 311.9 pounds, which is my weight today. That brings me down to a total weight loss of 23.7 pounds, just since I started experimenting with Carnivore principles. Now, Carnivore is a diet, and Ketovore is a diet, so isn't keto. But these are basic principles that help you get to certain points of what you're trying to achieve. Now, since I've started this, the whole Carnivore thing was something I was so doubtful of. I had no idea that within 76 days I would feel like this. I mean, I didn't have any idea that I would look like this. I didn't realize I would get my neck back. Something else that I was completely unaware of is that this is my original work shirt that I started when I started working at O'Reilly's. And O'Reilly's they did me a favor. They hired me just, basically I was doing auto parts delivery, helping out in the store, restocking the place. but they got me this shirt. Now, the first shirt they got me was a failure because that shirt did not fit. So we had to special order this. I was so fat. We had to special order this shirt right here, and I had to wait like almost a week before it came in. But when it came in, so this was my work shirt. So I had the logo here. I had a place to put my pen. But this shirt kind of fit at the time, and now it just looks completely different, in my opinion, because I mean I could fit two of me inside this thing. And then if I let me sit this down, this might sound a little weird for a second. I hope it doesn't. But yeah, I can take this and I can just, I mean, look at that. Look at that right there. I mean, it just, wow, it's like wearing a blanket now. So that's super good news. Now I would recommend, if anybody does start a weight loss journey, get some really, really good before and after photos. I mean, when you first start your journey, you're going to be like, oh man, this is pointless. I don't want to do this. But it is a motivator, especially when you start seeing dramatic changes. So pick a room, pick a spot, something that you can return to, you know, say in 6-7 months, and then be able to get these photos at least once a month, twice a month, you know, something like that. And that way you have something to look back at and keep all of these photos in the same place. Because if I could start this weight loss journey all over again, that would have been one of my #1 things. Now, when I first started, everybody was saying, oh, you just need to walk more. Okay, well, I was 435 pounds. I was almost crippled. So it was a bit hard to walk at all. And the walking I did do was out of necessity, not exercise. I had to either do it for my job. I had to either do it because I had to go to the bathroom or, you know, take care of, you know, daily things around the house. But I was not walking for enjoyment at that time because everything was extremely painful and I didn't want to be walking anymore. Now, I did make a comment, I think it was on one of Dr. Berg's videos. I don't know if he recently posted it or when it came out, but it was the topic of eye floaters. And I mentioned this in last week's video, that once I watched the video, I realized that the eye floaters were gone. And somebody asked me a question under there. They said, hey, how long in your diet did these things disappear? And I honestly don't know the answer to that because I didn't notice until I watched the video that these eye floater booger things, you know, the things that float around in your eye, that they were just completely gone. But I did reply to that person. I said, well, now I'm on, you know, day 76 of Carnivore, if that helps you at all. I said, but I honestly don't know. And that's the most important thing, is when you're corresponding with others, try to keep the information as accurate as possible, because it's really hard for us to learn from one another if we're just like, you know, half-assing the conversation. And then, you know, people just don't understand or they misunderstand you somehow. And when they try their own thing, they're like just totally discouraged because they're like, what in the world? This guy didn't talk about what happened exactly and he wasn't completely honest with me. That would drive me absolutely bonkers. And I really try not to do that here. But, all right, this week I had some noticeable changes in my body. And they were really noticeable. And I was noticing these things as I went throughout my day. Now, the first biggest noticeable thing that I had is I was all of a sudden walking around barefoot on a hardwood floor. Now, if you've been following along with any part of this journey, you knew that my feet hurt. I had plantar fasciitis. I had very swollen feet. I had edema, just chronic edema, all the way from my hips all the way down to my feet. And my ankles looked like big, giant balloons, and my feet were just, they wouldn't fit in my work boots at times. So, yeah, embarrassing stuff. And I'm just here to let you know that that is pretty much resolved. I was blown away. I was like, hey, whoa. Looking around, I'm like, I'm walking on hardwood floor and I'm not in tears. That's, if you have these problems, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, I can feel my feet. Another thing I noticed that was fantastic, especially since we live in Alaska and I drive trucks, is this time of year, I would usually be wearing insulated work boots just to drive a truck. And we have heaters in the trucks and sometimes they fail and those boots come in handy. But my feet used to be cold all the time because of the swelling, because there was so much water and it was cutting off the circulation to my feet. I always had to wear these heavy insulated boots on overly swollen feet. So now my feet are big. Now I'm wearing insulated boots and I have a lot less sensation in my feet to help control the pedals to do my job. So yeah, all good stuff here. Big news. Now, another silly thing is I can now easily put on my underwear and my pants without having to sit down. Now, that's a huge thing. If you got swollen feet or edema in your legs, and now that you're all of a sudden, because before I had to sit down on the bed or I had to sit on the couch or something like that just to put my underwear on or just to put my pants on, like one leg at a time, and it was a pain. And if you're fat, you understand these struggles. And just putting on your belt. A lot of us would sit on the bed, we'd take our pants and we'd run the belt through the loops before we even put them on, because we had all that excess baggage hanging over the sides, front and the back, and and we had limited mobility because sometimes your arms just don't want to reach around behind your back. Now, on the topic of your arms reaching around behind your back, something else that I found out that's quite miraculously amazing, and you don't really pick up on all of these things all at once because they happen, spontaneously and quickly, and they're somewhat normal things that should happen. Stuff like wiping your butt. Wiping your butt is so much easier now because you can reach stuff. I mean, even washing your butt is so much easier now. It's just, yeah, okay, so I mean, I'm down to 311 pounds, so I'm getting closer to 300 pounds. We're almost to regular obese. So I'm 11.9 pounds away from being regular obese. Isn't that silly that that's going to be a celebration day when I become regular obese? Wow. So when I first started Carnivore, I was having some dramatic issues with pooping. Now, the first week was pretty intense for me, trying to just eat only meats. That's all I was trying to do, was eat only meats. I still didn't do enough studying of everything, in my opinion, and now that's super important here. You need to do a lot of research on anything you're going to try. So if you're going to do keto, Ketovore, or carnivore, you need to study how these things are done, and you need to study them thoroughly. You can experiment around with certain things, but you're going to have a lot of hiccups. You're going to have a lot of problems. Even if you do a lot of studying, you're not going to do this stuff perfectly because there's a lot of trial and error and mistakes that can be made with any of these processes. Even the fasting that I did when I got started with all this, before I even started a ketogenic lifestyle, before I started kicking out the carbs, and I was still dramatically addicted to all this crap that's in my pantry, and I don't know what we're going to do with it all because I'm not eating it anymore. It's just going to sit there, and if something should happen or something should arise, we're just going to use it to trade, or we're going to use it to help out other people. It is there for an emergency, and that's what it's for. So as we go along throughout this journey, I'll always keep you guys updated to anything new that I kind of notice. I mean, I mentioned before, the clearer skin, I got less acne, and my teeth feel cleaner. Now, I've had a lot of dental issues over the years because I am a truck driver, and my cat is just going to knock stuff over. So, here we go. So, who's the little butt kitty now? Look at you. You're going to make a big mess for me today, aren't you? And if she looks a little scraggly today, it's because I found out she had ear mites, and we put some stuff in her ears, so it kind of leaked out all over the poor kitten's fur. I need to get her cleaned up a little better, but she's happy. I believe the ear mites are gone and taken care of, and yeah, this is hard, trying to do this stuff with a kitten sometimes, but we love our cats. So where was I? Okay, we were talking about some of these positive things. Now, I did have something bad happen this week, and it wasn't necessarily bad. It was just more or less along the lines of annoying. And I can't remember what that was because of what happened here. So this is why I like to take notes, and I'm looking at my phone because I'm just paraphrasing off the notes. I don't tend to write a script because I'm just talking naturally about what happens here and fighting these little furry creatures at times. But yeah, we love our cats. Anyhow, last night was I took my son to work day. That was fun. So I took my son out to do some snow haul in the side dump last night, and this is something totally new. It's something he has never done before, and we're going to get you back over here because that light's going to fall down again. But he had a pretty good time. I only took him out on a couple rounds. Now, at times, hauling snow can be a little bit dangerous, so I waited for a night everything dried out. The roads were really nice. The snow dump wasn't too crowded, especially in the first few rounds. So I took him out on the first few trips to the snow dump, and everything was safe, and he got to get the feel of a big truck. I even put his hand on the shifter knob and actually had him, feel what it feels like to go into first, second gear, run the gears and split up and go into the high and low side and stuff like that. So we did that for a few seconds as we were driving down the road, and to really, because it does, that the sensation of the feeling of how the gears work really gives you a great insight on how these trucks work and how much horsepower they actually have. So he enjoyed that. We talked a lot about safety and stuff like that on the road, what to do, what not to do to stay the hell away from these trucks. Because when you see them coming down the road and they're all stacked full of snow, you're just asking for trouble if you want to drive next to them. And also some important topics about how, these lanes tend to disappear. So you don't want to be next to a big truck. And if that truck should hit the snowbank or some packed ice on the side of the road, it can just come right into you. So if everybody just staggers out a little bit, you can travel on snow and ice pretty safely. You still might have some problems. You still might bump into some people at times. But at least if you're create some space, you're doing pretty good. So when we got done with that, I got out of the truck and I did a little bit of filming, and I tried to get his reaction on camera because I was going to make a short video about it, but now we're just going to add it here. I asked him, I said, so what did you learn? And he's typical teenager, he's just, whoa, I'm on the spot, I don't know what to say. So you just kind of like, yeah, I didn't really learn anything, but I know he did. He was paying attention, and yeah, he was having a good father-son moment. And then his mom picked him up and I carried on throughout the night. Now the disadvantage of what happened last night is here in Anchorage we're having a problem, and this is going to be completely off the carnivore rail, so I understand if a lot of people click off the video right now, but we're just talking about what's going on with my life as far as weight loss, and how this stuff that's going on with my work can potentially affect carnivore routine, not necessarily, but just my overall weight loss. We had some issues last night where one of the dozer operators was starting to dig holes. Now a side dump likes to dump, it's a big, huge, long bed, and it dumps over to the side. And when people start digging holes in the snow dump, it makes it really unsafe for us to dump our snow. And the driver, not too long before me, almost flipped his trailer over because the hole was dug in the snow, and he was trying to dump his load of snow, and he almost flipped his trailer over. Now that gentleman's an owner-operator, but even if you're not an owner-operator, you don't want to flip your freaking trailer on the side. So, and I came through the next time, and I was trying to dump completely away from the hole, but the ground was so messed up that I almost flipped my trailer over too. Now last year I did flip my trailer over, and it was just the trailer. The tractor didn't come over on the side, but just the trailer came completely over on the side. And it was just a random situation, and I don't really want to get into that because it was just the load froze into the bed and it wouldn't come out, and there was no amount of antifreeze to get it out. It was the long story. And sometimes things just happen. Nobody got hurt. The truck got flipped over. We went back to work that night. But last night we almost flipped the trailer over. I immediately signed out of the job, and I called my boss and said, hey, if you really want to tear these trucks up or have to get them towed home, I said, just keep running them through here. And that was the end of that. Now, I'm probably going to be looking for something else to do because we're running out of places to bring side dumps. And that's one of my main jobs for this outfit, is running a side dump trailer. Now, he does have several end dumps, but I'm a very tall guy, so my legs are really long. And some of these trucks, I can't lift my leg up underneath the steering wheel to get up onto the clutch pedal safely. If I can't operate the pedals safely, then I can't operate the truck safely. So in that case, even though I have enough room, with my gut in between the steering wheel now, which is great, so I can drive at least one of those trucks, and that's it. But the other trucks are just, the seat's not set up right, or the seat was mounted too close to the steering wheel. And these are old dump trucks with huge giant steering wheels. And they're not like the new trucks where they're set up like a car and they're comfy to ride in. So, either way, no big deal. I'll find other work. There's people shouting all over town because they're wanting drivers to run their trucks right now. My boss that I work for in the day, and we're going to start working this week on trying to fill in this foundation. And hopefully that goes okay because it's going to start snapping cold this following week, and Thanksgiving's coming up. So we're just going to have to see what happens here. Oh my goodness, I almost forgot to talk about the new burger patties my wife got from Costco. Those things are amazing. They're grass-fed, finished, whatever. I don't care. I think that's a completely overrated term. But anyways, these burger patties from Costco are just the bomb. And I think I found the secret to what my routine needs to be, because we can cook these up 4 or 8 at a time, and I can eat approximately, 4 of these a day. So 2 or 3 at a meal isn't too bad. So I might have 1 or 2 in the morning, 1 or 2 in the afternoon, put some cheese on it. Now I do drizzle some barbecue sauce on it at times, but the cheese to me and the barbecue sauce, that is just happiness. So that's my little bit of happiness for the day. I still have 90% meat and 10% whatever, because that's important no matter what. So yeah, I dump a little bit of barbecue sauce on there. We're looking at 120 to maybe 200 calories at times, depending on how much barbecue sauce I get crazy with. It's kind of like a salad. So it's like we're making a meat salad here and we're putting salad dressing on top. You can totally screw it up by putting too much. And so I do like to put extra butter on top of that, because that's just makes everything work inside and it just tastes good. Now, some people aren't too keen on the butter at first, but seriously, once your taste buds start to change, that butter tastes absolutely amazing. And it might sound ridiculous at first, because I saw these butter munchers right away and I was like, yeah, I don't think I'll be sitting there eating a bar of butter, but it is a thing. So get my little purr baby in the picture. She likes to sit, or he found out it's a he, it's not a she anymore. So boy, yeah, you gotta fix that problem before he starts spraying all over everything. And yeah, let's hope that's not an issue, because I don't like cat spray, and I know nobody else does, because it's really gross and it's really annoying. But anyways, yeah, like I said, if you found any part of this video informational or potentially helped you or got you motivated, please leave me a comment down below. I will be sure to respond to you in a timely manner. And always like the video before getting out of here. It really helps the channel. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. It does help the channel grow, and it helps us get our word out about losing weight with little to no exercise. Now, I do plan on exercising potentially at some point after I get under 300 pounds, and I'll probably try to make a routine of that. And it'll start out gently. It's not going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to hit the gym and we're going to do stuff. And the reason I'm not going to hit the gym to do stuff is because going to the gym is completely unsustainable for 90% of us here. So we can go to the gym. We'll go to the gym for a while. We'll make a routine out of it for 3 or 4 weeks. We're going to get a minor injury, and then we're going to slough off and go into the gym for the rest of our life again, just like we did in all those previous years. And that is not what I want to promote here. I want to promote people to lose weight, to be sustainable about everything they're doing, and hopefully feel better about their life. So guys, until next time,